Strut-supported underbed storage may not seem like a huge selling point at first glance, but once you're going in and out of that compartment and lifting a fully made bed, you may wish you had a little help. Enter a fairly straightforward bed lift kit for easier underbed access. So, what do you need for this install? For starters, the bed lift kit, which in this case comes with 2 gas struts, 4 mounting brackets, 2 upper and 2 lower, 2 blocks of wood, all the required mounting hardware, and of course, instructions. Additional supplies you're going to need include a cordless impact driver with Phillips bit, a cordless drill, a drill bit set, measuring tape, marker or pencil, cordless circular saw, and some construction adhesive or wood glue. We also found that you'll need a ratchet wrench with a 3/8" socket, a small flathead screwdriver, and probably a shop towel or 2. Now, depending on your RV's bed frame, you may also want to make additional blocks to reinforce the frame. That will require some additional mounting hardware to secure that to the frame itself. In our case, we measured the height of our bed base and cut 2 blocks from a nearby 2x6 to reinforce the bed frame in the lower corners for the bottom strut brackets. We just happen to have an extra 2x6 on hand, but a 2x4 would work fine here as well. It also doesn't hurt to sand the edges down once you've made your cuts. With those blocks in place, you'll want to remove the mattress and prop the bed platform open to maintain easy access. You'll then measure and mark locations for the lower mounting brackets. In our case, we have a partial bed platform, and the kit manufacturer recommends mounting the lower brackets roughly 3 inches from the outside of the bed frame. You'll want to use an 1/8" bit to drill pilot holes and mount each lower bracket using 2 of the supplied 5/8" screws. We'll install the remaining hardware in a final step once we've tested that the struts operate as expected. Next, you want to mount the upper brackets to the wooden blocks using 2 5/8" screws for each bracket. Attach the lower end of the struts to the lower brackets. The rod end should be facing down. And then you'll simply repeat on the other side. Check the bed height by measuring from the base to the edge of the lifted platform. Our kit states that the platform should be propped so that the opening is roughly 24 inches tall. You then want to measure and mark the general locations for the upper brackets. Again, our kit states that the upper brackets should be centered roughly 22 inches back from the edge of the lifted bed platform. Connect the upper end of the spring to the bracket attached to the wooden block and position the block on the underside of the bed platform. Keeping the strut as vertical as possible, drill pilot holes for mounting the blocks to the bed platform. Use a 1 1/4" screw to hold the block in place before removing the strut from the block and installing 3 more screws from the top side of the platform. This is where you'll need that flathead screwdriver to remove the struts from the brackets. You can then move the 1 screw that held the bracket in place to the top side. This eliminates sharp screw ends from sticking up vertically, which will likely damage the mattress once it's replaced. Repeat this process on the other side, and ensure you sand the top of the platform to once again prevent sharp areas from damaging your mattress. With those blocks secured, reconnect the struts and test that they work properly. This will require replacing the bed, as the manufacturer recommends testing the strut operation only with the weight of the bed in place. In our case, we placed our lower brackets too low initially, so we had to move them up so that some hardware secures to the bed frame while the rest secures to our 2x6 reinforcements, as you can see here. If you need to make adjustments, the kit's instructions will walk you through the process of relocating the upper or lower brackets based on your use case. Once your test is successful, adjustments or not, it's time to install the remaining hardware. This starts with removing the bed again, propping the bed platform up, and disconnecting the struts from the upper and lower brackets. Then remove the upper blocks, apply wood glue, and reinstall them, first using the original 4 screws. I do recommend keeping a towel handy here to wipe away any excess glue as you reinstall the blocks on both sides. Then, you want to install 2 through bolts from the top down and 3 more 5/8" screws from the bottom up into each bracket. You're going to need a larger drill bit for the through bolts. We wound up using a 5/32" bit and a ratchet wrench with a 3/8" socket to secure them. While not shown, it is smart to use wood glue to secure the block reinforcements in the corners of the bed frame to the existing wood components before securing the bottom brackets, which also require 2 additional through bolts with the heads installed from the outside and 1 more 5/8" screw. With all the remaining hardware installed, reconnect the struts and put your bed back in place. You may want to give the wood glue a few minutes to set up before closing the platform and, of course, remaking your bed to your liking. And there you have it. Hopefully you now have a bed that only requires one hand and minimal effort to access the storage beneath it. If interested, we've placed a link to the bed lift kit we used for this install in the description below. Be sure to comment with questions or tips and like and subscribe to be the first one to know about future tutorials that will help you make your RV easier to use.